Welcome to Board Online, Board Offline. Today we're bringing you a solo gameplay of Tainted Grail, Fall of Avalon. Now, the scenario we're bringing you is Chapter 9. This is a pretty interesting situation. I'm sure you can find lots of gameplays of Tainted Grail out there. Chapter 8 and Chapter 9 were both very interesting in that it doesn't follow the normal map layout. Tainted Grail has a system of, it's a modular map where, as you move along, you are exploring more of the map and it's a set terrain. Well, in Chapter 8 and 9, you have entered an area of the world that is not set. It's covered in weirdness, which is this chaotic, nasty stuff that changes reality, basically. And so everything about the way these two chapters played is completely different, or not completely different, but very different from chapters 1 through 7 that I've played so far. So after playing 8 and seeing that 9 was going to be in much the same sort of situation, I decided I would bring that chapter to you. And then we could, then you could see something a little bit different than maybe what you've seen before. Now, before we get down to the game topper, I do want to mention our sponsor, Board Game Co. This is a fantastic website where you can buy, sell, and trade games. They have a great selection of games for you to choose from, for you to just build out your collection, buy more games, keep getting more stuff into your collection. You got to get the best collection ever, right? Well, maybe not. Maybe you also want to sell games. Maybe you need to get rid of some games. So they have that option for you as well. They've got a value system over there. It makes it easy to see what you're going to get for your games. So be sure to check that portion of their website out as well. But even cooler, you can trade games. If you go over there and you can set up your own trade list and figure out, offer this for this, that for that, whatever. Or if you have a Board Game Geek account and you've built a trade list on Board Game Geek already, they will link directly in to that account. They will see what you have for trade, what you want in trade, and they will build a trade list on their website right there for you to use. So be sure to check that out. You can, if you do, click on the link in the description below. That way they know I sent you over there. Board Game Co. makes it easy to buy, sell, and trade your way into a better collection. All right, without anything else, let's get down to the game topper, and we're going to play Tainted Grail. Okay, so here we go. We are Ailei, I believe, maybe. Ailei. I'm not really sure I pronounced that, but we'll go with Ailei. And then Maggot. All right, now, and you can see here we are in Tuathon, which when you're looking at the map here, Quinacht is where we started. All right, this wall over here is Tuathon. So if you look here, you can see it goes all the way up here. This is all an area that was always controlled by the Four Dwellers. Arthur was never able to conquer any of that. Camelot, you can see, is over here. And a whole lot of, basically all of this area that you see, all of this was controlled by Arthur, the Knights of the Round Table. Here we go. The Knights of the Round Table, and they had basically this entire swath of land all the way up here to Crow's Nest. Here's some tombs right here. That's actually where Arthur's buried. And all this stuff. Moonring is a druid area. So all of this was normal humans, but this gigantic wall that was built by the Four Dwellers blocked Arthur and the rest of the humans from being able to get into the Tuathon area, which is the capital city, essentially, as far as we can tell. Sorry, I had some ink there on my hand. Okay, so what has happened so far in the story is we have kind of been all over the place here. We've gone all the way to Camelot up here. We had the Holy Grail, and right here in this lake is where the Lady of the Lake was. She told us that in order to fix this thing that's going on right now, where the weirdness is encroaching everywhere and it's coming in, one thing that needs to be done is the Holy Grail needs to be placed back in Tuathon in its rightful place, basically in Tuathon, and that will somehow assist us in our journey with what we're doing here. So while we were in there, we ended up finding a gigantic version of Arthur who was in there. Arthur basically has been repeatedly raised from the dead and then laid back to rest, raised from the dead, laid back to rest, so many times that he has lost a lot of his humanity, but he's this just enormous figure in here, because this whole place is just covered in weirdness, so things are a little different. But when we saw him in here, he was like a giant, basically. And essentially, he told us that he wanted us to take Excalibur from this upside down version of Camelot. It was literally Camelot built completely upside down inside of here, just hanging up in the air, basically. And so we did end up taking Excalibur, but in the fight to get it, because Morgane, I believe was her name, she was in there, and she followed us in, basically. And she had one of her creations fight us and damn near killed us. But we do have Excalibur, so now we're trying to get back out of Tuathon to continue trying to fix everything that's happening here. So let me kind of show you the situation for each of our heroes right now. All right, so here we've got Maggot. Now, he is in rough shape. He is the one carrying Excalibur, since he's my combat guy. But you can see he is down at 0 health, which obviously means also 0 energy, because energy can't go above that bar. And he's maxed out on terror. So he is panicking, he's dying, and he's going insane. So a lot of bad stuff happening right here. We're going to try to fix this. All right, so let's take a look at You Are Dying here, so you can see. And then we'll look at You're Going Insane. So we've already done that part here. Your rest doesn't restore health anymore or reduce terror. You can only carry 2 items. Discard excess items immediately. Remember that secrets don't count against this limit. So let's see what we've got. Anything with a number is a secret. So none of these count. This counts and that counts, but we only have 2 of those. So we're fine there. Put a dial with a time token next to your model and set it to 3. Reduce this dial at each start of day. If reduced to 0, you die. All right. When you receive any additional wound, reduce your dial by 1 instead. Discard this card once you're above 0. And then someone could spend 2 energy to dress my wounds, which would restore 1 health to my character. All right, so we'll place this on here. I know these numbers are pretty hard to read. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are pretty hard to read on the screen here. I think I may grab a die, maybe. Now I'll leave it like this, and I'll just make sure we keep talking about where it's at. All right, so then we also have You Are Going Insane. Your rest no longer restores any health. You have no dreams, only nightmares. Whenever you travel or explore, toss a dial, a skull. I'll lose 1 energy and continue my action. Or if I have 0, I lose 1 health instead. And then if I get the Grail, nothing happens and I continue. All right. So now Maggot does have this ability, Meditation. I can spend 2 energy to gain 1 magic. And also when dreaming, I toss a dial. And if I get a skull, he gets the nightmare instead of the dream. But obviously while you're going insane, you get nightmares anyway. All right, so then we've got this Disturbing Find. I really don't know what this is going to do for me. I could get rid of it, but the fact that it lets me get rid of it so easily makes me think that there's a reason to hold on to it. So gain 1 terror. At the start of the day, you may discard this card at any point. All right, you can see that I've got 4 food, 9 wealth, 6 reputation, 12 experience, 3 magic. Got 3 aggression over here with this monster strength in combat. Whenever you connect a 2 aggression key, gain 1 additional marker for combat. Basically, it means I deal 1 additional wound to the enemy. Fear to fuel. I can ignore the negative effects of nightmares, and if I have a nightmare, I gain 1 magic. Expert Hunter. Whenever you gain food during a green encounter, gain 1 additional food. And then you can see I have 1 of empathy, caution, and spirituality. So we've got Helmet of a Hero. In combat or diplomacy, flip this item to prevent discarding a card in combat. It's discarding 1 of the played cards. And then during my enemy's turn, when they're dealing me damage, or when they're doing their attack, I can flip this item to prevent 1 terror. All right, we've got the Adventurer's Toolkit. Ignore the effects of heavy rainfall and unnatural chill events. Well, we won't be having any of those in Tuathon, but also sometimes certain story events will reference the Adventurer's Kit as well. Here we have the Tarnished Talisman. Whenever you lose any terror, lose one more terror. Here we've got whenever you draw a random purple encounter, draw 2 and choose 1. Put the other encounter on the bottom of its deck. Stone Shaper's Tool. This basically helps me. There's certain things that'll reference. You can see that is just flavor text there. It's not actual any sort of mechanical text. Menhir writes. You can now activate Menhir. So this is one of the very first things we got at the beginning of the game. The cost of this action can be found on the back of each location with a Menhir symbol. And then Excalibur, which I have not got to use in combat yet. Ignore the fast and defensive traits, which is really good. Each time you play a card in combat, gain 1... basically deal 1 damage to the enemy. Each time you start combat using Excalibur, lose 2 health though. So Excalibur is almost like a cursed weapon here. When I grabbed it, it actually started drinking in my blood with those spikes. So it's pretty interesting take on Excalibur. All right, then over here we have Islay. Let's see. So she has this ability. By the way, I just got a brand new tattoo, or got some stuff added to my tattoo. So if you see my arm all shiny and whatever, don't worry about it. It's just the ointment that I've got on there. And I've still got some of the stencil ink on my arm too. So let's see. So healing herbs. Spend 2 energy to restore 1 health. And traumatized. You can't reduce terror when resting in a location without an active Menhir. Normally when you rest, you reduce terror, but obviously she needs the Menhir to be able to do that. So disturbed rest. Whenever a character rests, see the modified rest rules in verse 605 of the Book of Secrets. We'll cover that in a little bit when we rest, which will happen pretty quickly here, since we're pretty low on energy and health. All right, then she has the Fine Garments. Oh, cool. Whenever starting diplomacy, raise your affinity by 1. We've got the Stagfather's Charm. Whenever you draw a Bowmaiden encounter, put it back at the bottom of its deck, gain 1 food, and continue the game. We got that by assisting a Bowmaiden who was about to die. Here we've got the Four Dweller Bauble. Prevent 1 damage and 1 terror when in a purple encounter. And then we've got the Shining Talisman. Whenever you lose any terror, lose 1 more point of terror. So that's basically the same as the Tarnished Talisman that Maggot has. Then Motivation. 2 energy. When 1 chosen character in the same location loses 1 terror. All right. Skillful. The cost of your character action is decreased by 1. So healing herbs actually only cost 1 energy instead of 2. And Power of Ages, whenever you activate a Menhir, set its dial to 1 more than instructed. With us being in as bad shape as we are, I'm not sure how long this is going to last, but we are going to go ahead and start. This might be a real short scenario because I might die, but I wanted to show you all this one because it is so different than the other scenarios. Being in Tuathon is so different than the regular scenarios that I've seen so far, because normally you do have this actual map that you're building. In Tuathon, the weirdness has things so strange in there and so just out of sorts that you can't really build a map, and instead it's like, well, you'll see, it's a little bit different. So when you're on a location in Tuathon, you immediately flip it over. It's going to have some special rules here that change the game a little bit. So on this particular section of Tuathon, let's see. If you're not exhausted at the end of the day, you become filled with energy that violently tries to find a way out of your body, lose 4 health. So I have to get exhausted. Normally you want to try not to be exhausted because you won't max out on energy when you rest. But in this case, being exhausted is going to be a benefit so that I don't lose health. Now, speaking of which, let's go ahead, and I think a good way to use the rest of Islay's energy is going to be to heal Maggot. So we'll go ahead and actually use 2 energy to use healing herbs twice, and that will raise Maggot's health by 2. So now he is no longer dying, so we can get rid of that. He is still going insane because this needs to drop down below 5 for that to go away. That also means that this goes away now. But now you can see he is completely out of energy. So is Ile. So it's time for us to rest. All right, so the resting is in the Book of Secrets. I'm not going to put this up on the screen because I don't want y'all to be able to see other spoilers that you'd see inside the Book of Secrets. I'm able to kind of avert my eyes, as I would imagine most people are when they're actually reading it. However, I think if putting it on the screen, it might just be too difficult for you not to see it. So let's see. First thing we have to do when resting in Tuathon is, so we're going to eat. We got to eat one food. All right. So Arthur eats one food. Ile eats one food. And now, normally we would gain some health because of that, lose some terror because of that. But in Tuathon, we actually roll a die. We're going to roll a die for Ile's health first, and then her terror, and then Maggot's health, and then his terror. And basically, if we roll a 1 or 2, we'll gain 1 point. If we roll a 3, we gain 2 points. Roll a 4 or 5, lose 1 point. And then a 6, we actually gain a resource instead. So for Ile's health, we actually lose 1 point. So this is going to drop here. And so now she is panicking because her terror is above her health. We gain 2 points. So now she is going insane. All right, so now with Maggot, his health, he is going to gain 1 point. And his terror, gain 1 point, which he can't because he's already maxed out on terror. So now we can look at this card. We already did the Tuathon's version of rest. Now restore energy to full. So for her, she's exhausted, so she can only gain 4. But actually, since health is at 3, she can only go to 3. And then Maggot also can only go to 3. Let's see. Advance your character by spending experience. All right, we are going to do that with Maggot. He's got 12 experience. And I want to gain an additional skill over here. So the way you figure out skill, so you know what we're going to do? We're going to do aggression, I think. But you count 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's already got 4 because these are in pairs. Aggression and spirituality, or aggression and empathy are a pair. So he has 4. We're trying to get to 5. So multiply that times 2. It's going to cost 10 experience points. So we go ahead and use those. Okay, so what I am going to go with is Exertion. Once per encounter, you may remove 1 time token from any card in the sequence. And now, something cool with getting these special abilities is they're actually double-sided, which means that by choosing this one, I am eliminating this one as a possibility in the future. So that can leave you with some interesting choices. In this case, I actually could consume any amount of additional food to gain the same amount of energy. So that definitely has been, there's been times when that could have been really helpful. All right, so now I actually am going to go ahead and use these 2 experience points to upgrade my deck as well. So we draw 3 cards from our advancement pool. All right, let's see what we've got here. First, we have Heroic Strike. Now, see, this has the double aggression up top. Not only a connector here, but also a connector here. I really like seeing that because that ties in with this ability that gives me an extra damage for connecting double aggression. So that one definitely is possible. This one's definitely possible as a good option. You can see you got 2 damages down there. And then when I play it, I lose 1 energy and gain 1 damage for each courage connection that has been made throughout this particular combat. So now that could be costly, though. I could lose a lot of energy that way, even though it would also potentially deal a lot of damage. Or let me make sure I'm reading that right. No, I'm sorry. No, okay. I think I would only lose 1 energy, and then I would gain 1 of these for each courage. I don't think I lose 1 energy for each courage because of the comma right there. All right, so then we've got Gather Strength. All right, this one, I'm gonna go ahead and eliminate this one. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I don't want to use that one. All right, and then we've got Death Magic, which I already have a Death Magic in there. No, I think it's pretty clear Heroic Strike is the best option here. So now what I've been doing is you have to have a minimum of 15 cards in your deck. I've been keeping it at exactly 15 to keep my decks lean and not get too much bloat in there. And so far, that's been working pretty good. I generally deal a lot of damage, so I got to go through here and pick out a card that I want to eliminate and replace with Heroic Strike. All right, so I've taken Gather Thoughts out of there. Very similar to the Gather Strength card that I drew from my advancement deck, but slightly different. So I'm going to take that out now. That doesn't mean I lose this card. I'll just put it at the bottom, face up. You can see this is where I'm keeping other cards that I've taken out of the deck previously. They're all down here face up. And I technically can add them back in at some point if I decide that taking it out was a mistake. And then these other two cards here get added back in as well, back into the advancement deck. I know I said I've been keeping the deck at 15, but actually with Maggot, I have gone a little above. I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So I did decide to go a little bit above because I had some cards I just did not want to get rid of. But I'm trying not to keep bloating the deck. And then with Eli, I don't have... she has 7 experience. I also want to add a 5th. I mean, everything possible to upgrade is 5. So I need 10. So I'm not going to do any upgrading with her yet. I'm not going to mess with her decks or anything either. So then we can modify our decks, which I just did. If we're in a location with a dream icon, read the dream. We're not. So then start the next day. Now, there are no menhirs to mess with in Tuathon. We would reduce all time tokens. Got that. Nothing to do there. Reveal the next event card. In Tuathon, we don't actually reveal the event cards. We just use them as a timer. So I just take one off the top and discard it. We don't actually look to see what it was. By the way, here's our quest card. You can see you thought the weirdness was hostile before, but now it boils around you as deadly as a surging torrent. The sinking of the Great Citadel, which is what happened after I pulled Excalibur out of the stone there, must have shifted something in Tuathon. Each character loses 1 and 1. We already did that. Get out of Tuathon is our quest. Now, after 3 random events, the next event will be Special Event D, which I have not seen before. So we'll see what happens when we pull that. All right, so then reveal next event card. There's no guardians to move. Pick active items and secret cards. We already got what we want going there. So now we start the next day. And we check. Sometimes we'll have items that affect things at the beginning of the day. This right here, for instance, I gain 1 tear at the start of the day. Well, I'm already maxed out, so that doesn't do anything. And none of the rest of this stuff does anything. I would like to get my health up above so I'm not panicking, because panicking negatively affects combat and diplomacy. It'll take 1, 2, 3 to do that. That's probably a worthwhile way to spend her energy this time, to get one of us. Most likely, I'm going to do more fighting than diplomacy in Tuathon. Not 100% of the time, but most likely. So I want to get 2, 3. I want to get Maggot into fighting shape here. So that puts him up to 6. So he's no longer panicking. He's still insane, so that's not going to help, but no longer panicking. Oh, you know what? A better idea. Hold on. Let's take... So he raises health by 1. She spent 3 energy, raises health by 1, and then we're going to use her motivation ability. The other 2 energy is going to reduce his terror by 1, okay? But then he has the Tarnished Talisman. Whenever you lose any terror, lose 1 more point. So that brings it down here. So now he's no longer panicking and he's no longer insane. So now we're going to explore. And the way that works in Tuathon is I roll this die twice and then compare it to a table. Progress through Tuathon is what it's called. It requires 1... Search Tuathon. Requires 1 energy to do it. So we lower 1 energy. Got a 2. And a 5. So compare that to the table. 2, 5. Draw 2 purple encounters. Resolve the one with the higher value. Then roll again. If this is also your second result, gain 1 quest token instead. Quest tokens are what are going to help me progress through. You can see I have to have 2 quest tokens to progress to the next area of Tuathon. So I draw 2 purple encounters and use the one with a higher result. Now this is interesting because I have the Burial Mask that when you draw a random purple encounter, draw 2 and choose 1. So I think the way this will interact is the encounter is making me draw 2 purple encounters. I think I'm going to draw 2 encounters twice, and then I'll have to choose one of those pairs, and then from those pairs I'll choose the one with the highest result. That's the best way I can think of to make this make that interaction between this roll result and the Burial Mask work out. So here's the first pair, and here's the second pair. All right, so out of these 2, if I choose these, I'll end up fighting the 4 Dweller. He has 20, he's 20 value versus 14 value. That's basically their health. Over here, we've got a 12 value and a 16. So really, we can get rid of this guy and this guy. The question becomes, do I want to fight the 4 Dweller or the Urhin Rock? Sure, yeah. Let's see. All right, so if I beat him, 1 rep and 2 magic is my reward. Here it's 1 experience, 1 rep, 3 magic, but this guy is really tough. I think I'm going to go with this guy. You can see if you lose all your health or gain maximum terror, then you gain Secret Card 66 and escape from combat. All right, so we start combat by drawing 3 cards. Here's what we've got. Well, Final Blow, we really do want to wait for the Final Blow because if you don't kill the guy with it, then you end up being dealt a pretty bad blow there. Heroic Strike's already coming out. This wouldn't do any good yet, though. So really, attack's probably my best option here at the beginning, except that is going to cause him to deal 1 additional damage. Unfortunately, I think that I could take a mulligan, but then if I take a mulligan, I lose Final Blow and Heroic Strike. Now, alternatively, I could just escape combat. The only penalty I'll take is to lose 1 energy. Yeah, you know what? Because I don't get a quest token for beating this guy. I only get the rep and the magic. I'm just going to escape combat and not risk him dealing all this bad stuff to me. I really very rarely do that. Here you can see I lose the 1 energy for escaping. I really very rarely do that, but the thing is that right now, I really just need to get out of Tuathon. I'm in really bad shape. There's no guaranteed way of healing myself. So, like in any significant way, resting doesn't do anything guaranteed right now. So I'm just going to try to get out of here. Now, the cool thing is if I roll up another purple encounter, I don't... Oh, actually, yeah. If I roll up another purple encounter, I don't deal with the purple encounter. I just get a quest token. 1, 4. 1, 4, verse 30. So I'm not going to show you these verses because, like I said, I don't want to risk giving you all any other spoilers, but I will read them to you. So, on top of a low weird stone construct, a vast forest grows. Long roots thick as your torso hang from crumbling dry soil. Without proper support, the trees tilt in every possible way. But this damned city engulfed more than trees. A furious beast emerges from the crippled forest and advances toward you. Oh my god, okay. Draw 3 green encounters and resolve the one with the highest value. In case of a tie, resolve the one drawn first. Put the rest of the on the deck. If you win the encounter, gain 1 quest token. If not, nothing happens. Regardless, exploration ends. All right, so highest value 6, 15, 20. I'm going to be fighting a Fae. They say there's another invisible island inhabited only by the Fae. When Fae attacks or makes an opportunity attack, you may pay 2 magic to ignore this attack. That's interesting. All right, and reward is 1 experience, and then loot 3 magic and 1 item. So this could turn out pretty good. Let's see what we can do here. Sadly, this is one of the few green encounters that doesn't give me food. All right, so now if I escape from this guy, See, the opportunity attack is what happens to you when you escape. That last guy had an opportunity attack that wouldn't really do anything to me. But this guy will make me lose 1 energy. All right, so I think I'm going to start... Oh, well, first off, if I use Excalibur, which I am, Excalibur costs me 2 health. Do I want to use Excalibur? Maybe I don't use Excalibur. I think I'm not going to use him. Let's keep that there. We're not using Excalibur. All right, so the first card we're going to play is Thick Bark Skin. All right, it says pay 1 magic or we'll have to discard this card. So here's the 1 magic that gets us down to 2 magic left for Maggot. And now this is going to prevent 4 damage. All right, and you can see we have to put a time token. Okay, so now it goes to the Fae. They have 0 to 3 damage on them right now, so they'll deal me 3 damage, but I'm preventing 4 damage, so nothing happens. Comes back to me. This timer comes off. I now draw 1 card, and also at the beginning of my turn, I draw 1 card. All right, so let's see here. We'll start with Careful Attack. All right, so we're going to deal 1 damage here. And then because of Monstrous Strength ability, we deal an additional damage for connecting the double aggression. And down here, 2 times damage, so we deal 2 more damage. And now if this card is face up during the monster's turn, we'll lose 1 less and prevent 1 damage. Well, let's see, right now he's at 4. He's actually going to cause me to gain 3 terror. So I want to try to get him up to... I mean, there's no good options here really for what he can do to me. But we'll do Entangling Trap, actually. All right, so to play a second card during a round of combat, you got to have this lightning bolt symbol connect to something. In this case, it's connecting to my practicality, which I am good on. And then down here, I'm going to actually gain 2. I'm going to draw 2 cards. So we drew Distraction and Battle Cry. Now, if we leave this one, we can make him what he'll do to me is simply I'll lose 1 cube and then discard Entangling Trap. And that seems like a pretty good place to stop. Well, actually, hold on. I've got 4 cards in my hand, actually, which means I have to discard one of these if I do stop here. But yeah, I think I'm going to stop here. So I will have to discard 1 card. And I'll actually discard Battle Cry. All right, so the enemy is going to cause me to lose 1 of these, and then Entangling Trap gets discarded. So back to my turn, I draw a card. We drew Death Magic, which is a pretty good card. So let's do this. We'll play Glimpse of the Future first. So we're going to draw 1 card here. And then we're going to draw 3 cards, then discard 2 cards. So the 3 we drew, well, the first one we drew was Overhead Smash, which is definitely one of my favorites. And then we drew Defend, Rite of Withering, which is fantastic, and Hex. All right, well, I think, because I got all these cards, I think the one I'm going to get rid of is actually Distraction. All right, so now, we play Glimpse of the Future already. In order to play an additional card, we'll have to have this lightning bolt symbol. So I think we'll play War Magic. Now this is a little iffy because it's going to cause us to start panicking. But look, we're going to get 1, 2 for Monster Strength, 3, 4 damage dealt to him. Now, I do have to pay 1 magic for that. Anytime that blue connector happens, in order to get its benefit, you must pay 1 magic. But so that was 4 damage, so this needs to be a total of 7. So we'll just do it like this. War Magic actually made me gain 1 terror, so I am going insane again. But if I stop right there... then I'll gain 2 more damage on my next turn. Let's see, which probably is actually going to be my best bet because the only thing that can connect right now is defend, which isn't going to deal any damage. It would prevent 2 damage, but he's not going to deal me any damage. And yeah, none of these connect. So we're going to stop right there. All right, so he's going to deal me 3 terror, which maxes me out. I only really gain 1, and that's it. All right, so now my turn. Oh, wait, if I stop there, oh, I got to get rid of 2 cards. Well, I'll get rid of defend. I really like the rest of these, though. That's going to suck. And I guess I'll get rid of Hex. I don't really like doing that, but okay. Gotta be careful how quick I'm going through this deck as well. I was hoping to have more damage dealt to him by now. Wait. Back up. Hold on. Okay, so I'm still at 5 terror. I'm not into my turn yet. He is at 7. I'm going to use Exertion to get rid of this time token. Gain 2. That puts him at 9. All right. So now he's going to deal 3 damage to me. But I will play Defend. Okay. Prevent 2 damage, and then I'll draw 1 card at my next turn. Yeah. All right. So I still have to discard a card. So I am discarding Hex. Well, at least I'm not discarding a whole bunch of cards. All right, so then on his turn, it deals me 3 damage. That's preventing 2, so I only get 1 damage. So that drops to 3. And I lose 1 damage token. All right, so he's still at 8. All right, so this comes off. I draw 1 card. Now, I just realized I'm panicking right now. I don't know if I was panicking last turn at the beginning of my turn or not. When you panic, the first card that you play has to come from the top of your deck. So here we go. Lose 1 health, gain 3 charges. Those charges maybe use as magic. And the thing about that is I actually have to do that. It's an immediate effect. So I'm down to 2 health, which is real bad. But these now can be used as magic. We're going to play Withering Right to start off with. All right. Now, place 2. I got to pay 2 magic or lose 1 rep or discard Right of Withering. I'm going to lose 1 rep. So that knocks me down to 5 reputation. And so next... Oh, I don't have anything. Oh, yeah, I do. Okay. Death Magic. I'll pay 1 magic to make the connection. All right, so then 1, 2, 3. So that gets me up to 11. And then I may gain 1 terror and pay 1 magic to gain 2 additional. I'm so close to maxing out, I might as well. Gain 1 terror. Pay 1 magic. And I'm gaining 2. So that puts him at 13. I need 7 more damage to kill him. Oh, man. I just realized he's going to get me. I should have just run. I should have run. Well, I guess I could run now, knowing what's about to happen. I don't have any way to prevent the damage he's about to do to me. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Okay. All right. So let's not forget that Death Magic gets that. Okay. So now, ending my turn, he would attack me for 3 damage. I'm going to spend 2 magic, 1 here, and my last magic that's actually on Maggot's board. And that will allow me to ignore the attack. Now, I can't draw a card because I am panicking right now. But I do. Well, first off, this time token comes off, and this one. Now, since that came off, I gained 2. So that puts him at 15. Now, I'm running out of room over here, but I think I'm going to finish him off right here, actually. Start off with the overhead smash. 1, 2, plus 4 is 6. That kills him. Okay. Whew. That was close. So we get 1 experience, 3 magic, and 1 item. So 1 experience, 3 magic, and a random item. The snare. Spend 1 energy, toss a dial out of a settlement, Grail, gain 1 food, skull, discard this item. All right. So I gain a quest token. All right, I need 1 more to be able to leave this section of Tuathon. I've got 1 energy left. I can search with that. I'm going to go ahead and take my shot at it because I really need to move along. 2, 3. That is going to be verse number 65. Strange buildings surround you. Their roofs soar high above the clouds, and their foundations are as thin as a human leg. Insects the size of buildings wander between them. I can leave this place before the buildings collapse. I can try to tame one of the insects, or I can push a wall of one of the buildings to see if I can knock it down. Let's leave this place before the buildings collapse. So verse 37 is where I need to go. You get lost on a straight street. This shouldn't be possible. Each party member loses 1 energy. Go back to verse 65. All right, well, I can't lose any more energy, so no problem there. Let's try to push a wall of one of the buildings to see if I can knock it down. Verse 43. If any party member has 0 aggression, nobody has that. So otherwise, you strain yourself, but the building is stable. You can't move it at all. Each party member loses 1 energy. Go back to 65. All right, so I have to do the thing with the insects. Verse 8. You approach one of the beasts. At first, it is irritated by your presence, but after a moment, it lets you climb it, then starts running. When it finally stops, the buildings around you are still strange and unsettling, but no longer impossible. When you climb down the creature, it collapses under its weight. The strange rules of nature keeping it alive no longer apply in this part of Tuathon. Each party member loses 2 health. Well, that's not good. But I do gain 1 quest token. So there's the quest token. But Maggot is dying again. That's okay, though. We'll just have Ilay heal him again here at the beginning of the next round. All right, so we are obviously at the end of the day. Neither of my people have any energy left. Maggot doesn't have any health left. So we definitely need to get something done here as far as healing him back up. But we're going to go ahead and work our way into the next day here. All right, so for her health. Oh, wait, she got to eat food to rest. So there's 1 food and 1 food from Maggot. All right. So for her health, a 4 means she's going to lose 1 point of health. This is not looking good. And 1 means she's going to gain 1 point of terror. Unbelievable. Meanwhile, with Maggot, he rolled a 3. So he's going to gain 2 points of health. So that's some good news. That gets rid of this and the you are dying status. And for terror, we rolled a 5. So he actually loses 1 point of terror. All right. Not so bad there. So now they restore their energy. He's going to be at 2. And so is Ilay. Now, by the way, obviously we are in real bad shape here, right? A lot of this has to do with the fact that we are in Tuathon, which, I mean, when I went into it in the previous chapter, I was wondering if I was going to see something like this where you're really just struggling to hang on, because Tuathon is completely engulfed in weirdness, and most of the time in the game, if weirdness consumes an area, you can't even be in it. So the fact that we're just wandering through weirdness right now, it's really actually pretty thematic that we are having such a difficult time keeping our terror down and our health up. All right, so if I wanted to spend experience points, not going to do that. So the next random event is taken off the top, placed there. 1 more random event. The next thing under there will be special event D. So that could be pretty interesting. Okay, so what we're going to do here to begin the day, that we've got everything. Oh, wait, no, hold on. Actually, Disturbing Find. Disturbing Find is going to cause his terror to go up 1. All right. And I think, again, I'm going to focus mainly on doing things with Maggot. So Jane, I'm watching Doom Patrol. Sorry, y'all, not Jane. This is Ilay is going to spend. She's going to try to raise his health. Yeah. So she'll spend 2 to raise his health twice. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to progress through Tuathon. So that's going to cost me 1 energy. So he's down to 1 energy left. And then we have to spend our 2 quest tokens. And if there are 2 Tuathon cards, there's not. If there are 5, there's not. So otherwise, if there's 1, 3, or 4, attach a new random Tuathon location and move your characters there. So here's another random one right here. They will move there. That flips over. This one is no longer active. All right, so you can see on this one, the bottom section of the rules here is all the same. This right here is the thing that changes. So what will apply to us is Ilay's fear becomes unbearable before rest. At the end of the day, she gains 2 terror. And then Maggot is intoxicated by weirdness and cannot pay with magic. All right, so he cannot use magic during this area. Now, I think we are, because we obviously need to get out of here as quick as possible with the way our health and terror are being affected here. So we're going to go ahead and search to try to get another quest token before the end of this round. So spend 1 energy. 1, 4. So we're going to verse 30. Oh, we actually already did this one before, so I'm not going to reread it to you. This is the one where we're going to draw 3 green encounters and resolve the one with the highest value. So here are 3 green encounters. 13, Traveling Merchant obviously isn't going to happen. That's actually one of the few good cards in that deck. So the Underbrush Worm is what we're going to end up fighting here. Now this will give us food, which is good because of the Expert Hunter ability that Maggot has. So if we beat it, we will get 1 additional food. And in order to get the quest token, we do have to win this encounter. So we're not going to try to escape from this if we can help it. All right, the question is, do I want to use Excalibur? If I do, I'm going to have to try to deal some damage fast. Well, no, you know what? He doesn't have the fast or defensive traits. And that's one of the main things Excalibur gives me. So I don't think I am going to. He does have the Opportunist trait, which you can see here. If a player doesn't play at least 2 combat cards in step 2, apply the opportunity attack. All right. So the opportunity attack here is going to be to lose. Let me bring this up here for you. The opportunity attack is to lose 1 damage token. So basically it heals and then it discards the last card that I played. You can see they say Arthur chased all the snakes on the island into the sea, yet some remain hiding deep in the woods. All right. Okay, so here we go. So start off, right off the bat, we've got this. We definitely want to play that. If we do, we can't spend magic, so got to keep that in mind. First thing he's going to do is deal 2 damage to me and that'll knock me down to 2 health. But yeah, to get this out and charging, because you can see after 2 turns, I'll deal. Oh wait, yeah, we can do this. After 2 turns, I'll deal 6 damage to him. So that is almost half the damage. So I'm gonna play that. I'm gonna pay, because I have to pay either, it says 2 magic or 1 rep. So I'm gonna pay this rep right here. That's 5. I only have to pay 1 rep, so I still have 4. So I obviously can't pay the magic because of the area we're in right now. So we have 2 of these timer tokens on here. Now I'm going to use the exertion ability to remove 1 timer token. So 1 of those is gone. Sorry about that mic issue, y'all. It should be back to where it's supposed to be now. Okay. Now neither one of these, that connection won't work, and that one won't either, because technically I could make that connection, but I have to pay magic to do it, which is why I can't do death magic. And then the blood magic would require a courage connection, but there is no courage on there. So that's just where I'm going to have to stop. That means that with 0 to 3 damage on it, the underbrush worm is going to deal me 2 damage. So I'm down to 2 health now. All right, so now we draw a new card. And this goes away. So that is 6 damage now that I'm dealing to him. So right now with 6 damage, he'll only deal me 1 damage on his turn if I stay there. I think I could use this ability right here where I can use these charges as magic during this encounter, but I don't want to lose one. Like if I lose that 1 health, then I'm down to 1 life. So that's probably not a good idea. I'm actually just going to play Thick Bark Skin. So I got to pay magic to use that. Oh no. All right, so everything I'm seeing here, I'm going to have to do blood magic just to be able to do anything worthwhile here. So I'll lose 1 health, which means I'm down to 1 health now. Gain 3 charges. All right, and now, first thing I'll do, I'm actually just going to play Thick Bark Skin now. So that I've got that connection there, and pay 1 magic, pay from here. Prevent 4 damage. Now the reason why I think I can use this as magic is because, I mean, I could be wrong about this, but in my mind, not being able to pay magic would mean the magic that's actually built into him, that he actually has on his person. This is like a separate source. I could be completely wrong about that, but that is how I've always played a situation like this, and that's what I'm going to do in this playthrough anyway. So pay 1 magic, so now I'll prevent 4 damage. I am ending my turn. It's the worm's turn. He's at 6, so it deals 1 damage to me, but I prevent 4. Oh, by the way, I had this on there for that. All right, so now it's my turn. First I draw a card just for the new turn. Technically that happens at the end of my turn. And then I draw a card because of that. Okay, so let's see what we got. We have Defend, okay. And we have Battle Cry. Both of these prevent damage. All right, so let's play Death Magic. All right, so 1, 2, because of connecting the double aggression. 3, 4, so that's 4 damage. That will actually bring it up to 10 total. And then I can pay 1 magic to gain, hold on, let's see something. So I can pay 1 magic to gain 2 damage. That Terror, I'm already maxed out on Terror, so that doesn't do anything. So I'm at 12 damage on the worm, which means he's going to deal me 2 damage if I don't prevent it. So, nope, can't play that, but I can play this. All right, my practicality connection there. I was going to play it. All right, so I get to prevent 2 damage. Let's put that on there. Okay, so he's dealing me 2 damage, and I think he's going to run away. If he runs away, I don't believe that counts as a win. And even so, I definitely don't get this reward in the loot down here. When I paid this 1 magic here, let's back up off of that. All right, so I didn't do this immediate effect here. This is still here. All right, so instead he's at 10 damage. So when I end my turn, and he will deal me 2 damage. Oh, but now I need to be able to prevent. Okay, so at this point, this is where I would then play Defend prior to ending my turn. Okay, so the only thing I changed there was that I did not deal that extra 2 damage to the worm. So prevent 2 damage. I do that. Gain 1 terror. I'm already full on terror, so no big deal there. This would have been on the card. It's now the end of the round. I draw 1 card for the end of the round, and then this has me draw another card. So now I have Overhead Smash and Final Blow, which I believe very well could be the actual Final Blow. Let's see, that would deal 4 damage to him, wouldn't quite get there. Overhead Smash. That'll do it. 1, 2, plus 4, 6. 16 is what he'd be at. So there we go. Now I've killed him. Okay. So you can see how a lot of times here, there's a lot of like thinking through. Basically, I'm willing to backtrack anytime that I haven't revealed new information. I feel like there's no issue with backtracking there. It's kind of the Mage Knight rule. Also, let me just show you this. I think it's pretty interesting. As you're playing through a combat or a diplomacy, you're really kind of creating a story with the cards. So like here, this underbrush worm comes after us. I immediately cast the Rite of Withering, which is going to take a little bit of time to develop. Then while that's happening, I use blood magic to generate this pool of magic off to the side that I can use. After that, then I generate some thick bark skin to prevent the damage that's coming in from this monster. At which point I then use death magic to start dealing some damage out to him. I defend myself for a moment before finally doing an overhead smash and killing him. So I really like how that all kind of comes together like that. So let's see, we get 1 experience and 3 food, plus we're an expert hunter, so we actually get 4 food. I'm going to give, 2 food here, and there is an action, a 0 cost action, where I can share food with my party members. So I'm just going to go ahead and just share this without actually doing it in this technically the correct order, but it really doesn't change anything. So that food went to Ile, so we both have 4 food now. All right, so we get our quest token, and that's going to be the end of this day because we are all out of cards, or out of energy. So let's go on and end the day. Both Maggot and Ile spend 1 food for her health. Got a 4, which means she loses 1 point of health. She is now dying. And for Terror, she loses 1 point of terror. Not that that's really going to matter a whole lot at the moment. All right, for Maggot, for his health, he loses 1 point. So he is dying. And for his terror, he loses 1 point. So now he can't get any, he has no ability to get energy whatsoever right now. Ile over here, her layout's a little bit different, so she does go up to 1 energy. All right, we draw the next random event, which of course is just marking time right now. And so you can see the next one is Special D, okay? So that's what's coming up if we manage to survive whatever's going to happen to us this round. All right, so the only course of action really is... Now, okay, so each of these dials actually would go down to 2 because they were created at the end of the last day when we began resting. And at the start of a day, they reduced by 1. Now, she's going to spend her 1 energy to heal Maggot. Actually, that's not going to do any good. Because then we're just going to have to rest again. She's going to try to get the quest token. So she's not healing Maggot. She's spending that 1 energy to quest. And this is going to be the death of her. But let's see what happens. So we've got a 1 and a 3. So that's going to be verse 20. You stand in an arboretum. Instead of trees, giant fungi and moss grow here. The place looks strangely serene. I can rest on the lush moss, or I can leave and try to find a way around it. I'll get a quest token by leaving, but resting, it might heal me up. It also might kill me, but we're going to try resting. Go to verse 42, it says. The moss is comfortable and you rest well. Maybe you should stay here longer. Each party member gains 1 energy. Well, Maggot can't gain any energy, but she can. Now I can leave the arboretum and find a way around it. Lose 2 energy and gain a quest token. Or I can continue the pleasant rest. At this point, I feel like I don't have anything to lose. I'm going to continue the pleasant rest. Okay, this was a mistake. You spend some pleasant time thinking about your journey so far, but then you feel a strange heaviness. When you look down, you bark. When you look down, you see bark and lichen covering your body. You manage to break free at a horrible cost. Each party member loses all energy, gains 3 terror, and loses 3 health. So that just killed both of them. Well, it killed her. It would have killed him. It killed her. And but when a party member dies... So technically speaking, when a party member dies, I believe you're able to pull out a different party member from the box that's not being used and continue that way. However, for me, I'm trying to work through the storyline with these two guys. So if I get to the point where I am dying, I use the All-Mother's Mercy to regenerate in the same scenario. So let me show you what that would look like. This is going to be the end of the video, but I want to show you what that would look like. So you can see that all is not lost. There is a way to reset and kind of pick up where you left off. All right, so I'm covering up this one little section here because I don't want to show you any spoilers, but 500 is the All-Mother's Mercy area. And so up there at Chapter 9, it's going to show me how to reset Chapter 9 if I die. So you can see what will happen is I'll prepare location 185. I'll place all characters there. Then each character resets their food and magic to 10 and wealth to 2. Each character loses all experience, and then I gain the mind-numbing draft item. There's only one, regardless of the number of players. So that's basically how you reset and start over, and I'll be working my way back through Chapter 9 again. So that was a rough chapter. I'm definitely going to be restarting that chapter. I like how the All-Mother's Mercy kind of resets it. This is actually the most generous I've seen All-Mother's Mercy be with resetting. A lot of times they will penalize you in some way for a reset. This time, other than losing, well, granted, Maggot did have a lot of experience. He lost. Oh no, I'm sorry. Eli had what? 7 experience, I believe, that she just lost. So that hurts pretty bad. At least Mag got to spend his experience earlier in the video before he lost the rest of that. But getting 10 food and 10 magic, that's pretty unusual. So that's pretty interesting that they let you do that for this chapter. Because like I said, in the past, I've actually lost a point off of one of my traits and stuff like that. Anyway, I appreciate you watching. I hope you did enjoy this video. Like I said, unusual scenario, unusual situation with Tainted Grail. And I thought that might be worth filming and getting online. Be sure to come back for more videos. Eventually, I am going to have a Tainted Grail tutorial video coming out, so be sure to check that out. And until next time, if you're bored online, bored offline.